Es geht wieder weiter mit Vampyr, würde ich sagen. Mein Name ist RustyKay. Und wenn euch das Video gefällt und das Spiel, lasst ein Like da. Über ein Abo würde ich mich natürlich noch mehr freuen. Aber gut, dann würde ich sagen, starten wir gleich los. Ich bin mir jetzt gar nicht sicher, was wir beim letzten Mal noch gemacht haben. Wir haben versucht noch irgendwie den Bezirk von dem Krankenhaus und von Witcherpool, glaube ich, Witcherpell, glaube ich, noch etwas hochzukriegen, indem wir die Bürger geheilt haben, was Gott sei Dank funktioniert hat. Was ist jetzt los? Okay. Ja, wie gesagt, was Gott sei Dank funktioniert hat. Und wir haben auch noch rausgefunden, dass sich der eine Patient mit dem Halsschmerzen umbringen wollte. Und wir haben den Brief noch geholt. Jetzt kann ich entscheiden, was ich mit dem Brief mache. Die Frage ist jetzt nur, wenn ich den Brief seiner Mutter gebe, oder besser gesagt, wenn ich den Brief jetzt zum Mortimer bringe, ob dann Hinweise verschwinden von seiner Mutter. Aber das finden wir jetzt raus. Ich habe ihr ihm versprochen, den Brief zu geben. Und wir haben hier ein ärztliches Schweigegeheimnis auch. Sie wischt immer noch das Blut weg. Also machen wir das auch und geben den Brief Mortimer.
But in the circumstances, I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick.
I'm okay.
I have retrieved your letter, Mr. Goswick. I can assure you that nobody read it but me.
Thank you. This is for you, then. For your help. And for your silence.
I think
Komm
you
ich
should
jetzt?
talk to your mother. It would be good for both of you.
Thank you, Dr. Reed. I'll think about it. Now, please, let me be.
Okay, 100 Schilling habe ich bekommen. Okay.
I've read your letter, Mortimer. You wrote about an unbearable feeling of despair while the world crumbles around you. Tell me more about it.
There's nothing more to say, really. It's hurtful, it's unbearable, and I don't ask anyone to understand what I feel.
Despair is a deadly poison I've tasted myself, sir. We're only tempted to drink it because we're terrified by the uncertainty of the next minute.
I know that perfectly, Doctor. For I waited for so long, hoping that the next minute would be less unbearable.
Okay. Aber das hat mir jetzt keinen Hinweispunkt gegeben. Nee, das heißt, ich brauche noch einen. Aber die Erfahrung oder die Qualität des Blutes ist ja schon ganz oben. Aber ich nehme ihn noch nicht mit, das ist noch zu früh. Ich will ja das Krankenhaus nicht in den kritischen Bereich bringen.
Don't waste your time with me.
Vor allem, weil die meiste Zeit sind wir im Krankenhaus.
This hospital seems to be falling apart.
Warte mal. Mal schauen, ob ich was von seiner Mutter rausbekomme.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Good evening, Doctor. How is my son doing?
Okay, sie erholt sich auch. Oh,
Mortimer is extremely vague as to his motivations for committing suicide. Tell me more about what you know.
As you say, Mortimer had no reason to die. All he said to me was that he wanted to make the world a better place.
What do you think he meant by making the world a better place?
Mortimer has always been a sensitive soul. He wouldn't talk to anyone for months after his father passed. It's like he carries everyone's sadness with him.
Why did your son feel so useless when facing the world?
I think it was more that he could only see the melancholy facets of life. He couldn't help but dwell on such things.
okay.
Do you realize your son could try to kill himself again? He might succeed next time.
I think about it every minute. But but I won't stop fighting for my son's future. That's how much I love him.
Your empathy is remarkable, but I fear that your son's decision to end his life has already been made.
Das Witzige
How
ist,
dare you talk to a mother like that?
es
Talk
sitzt
to
genau
me
da
like
drüben.
that.
I'm only trying to be honest, Mrs. Goswell.
Sitzt direkt nebenbei und wir reden drüber.
End may be for you. You have to accept this is a possibility.
No, I'll never accept it. If my son was to die under your care, well, you have no idea what I'm
Augen von
capable
mir,
of,
ey,
Dr.
das
Reed.
ist schon krass. Was? Nein. Ach komm.
I have read your son's suicide note. It was not an impulsive gesture, nor was it his first attempt.
He threatened to kill himself a few times before, but I never thought he would dare to punish me this much.
Punish you? Why?
I've known for a long time he was not happy with his life, but I always hoped he cared enough to avoid making me suffer like this.
Ach, jetzt habe ich einen verdammten Hinweispunkt verloren.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswell.
Ach komm. Ja, kann man nichts machen.
Don't waste your time.
Kann man nichts machen, würde ich sagen. Ich gebe dich zur Apotheke. Und ich werde mir noch angucken, was das hier ist. Ja, das ist perfekt. Dann kann ich hier noch zur Apotheke gehen, auch. Und jetzt schaue ich aber vorher, was das Rufzeichen ist. Ich glaube, dass das der vermisste Person ist. Von der einen mächtigen Vampirin da, die sich ausgedacht hat, sie wäre eine. Warte mal. Nee, ich bin schon richtig. Okay. Ladescreen. Ich glaube immer noch, dass da die vermisste Person drin ist. Und der zum Vampir wurde. Genau wie Miss Pepper oder wie die heißt. Papa, irgendwas so. Pepper, irgend sowas in die Richtung. Ich habe hier einen Mann ausgesaugt und habe sie zurückgelassen, aber ich habe das nicht gewusst. Also ich weiß jetzt, wenn Personen so zusammengehören oder so und du entführst eine Person davon und saugst sie aus, dann musst du die andere auch mitnehmen, sonst verschwindet sie und wird so ein Vampir. Und die hatte ein richtig hohes Level. Glaube ich Level 22 oder so. Und da war ich noch, ich weiß nicht, 8, 9 Level drunter oder so. In Richtung. Okay, schauen wir uns mal langsam um. Wo ist das Skull? Okay, bin ich gespannt. Hier war ich ja schon mal, das ist das Leichenhaus. Ich glaube, ich gehe zuerst runter und dann hoch. Ja. Guckt erstmal runter in den Keller. Obwohl ich ja nicht der Mensch bin, der zuerst in den Keller geht. Wow. Oh mein Gott. Genau deswegen. Das sind solche Gründe, warum ich nicht zuerst in den Keller gehe. Oh. Hör auf zu schreien, bitte. Wird man ja wahnsinnig.
It's locked, all right.
Immer noch. Was? Ja, passt, okay. Ja. Oh mein Gott. Thomas Elwood. Ich glaube, das ist der Typ. Ja. Ja. Das ist der Typ. Oh. 24, schon übel. Der hat mich gesehen. Oh. Ja, Gott sei Dank habe ich mich nochmal hochgehalten. Oh. Jawohl. Müsste das Rufzeichen eigentlich weg sein? Ja. Gut, dann können wir wieder rausgehen. Was mich aber jetzt fasziniert, ist, dass er zum Werwolf wurde. Das fände ich sehr amüsant. Ich frage mich, wie das ging. Gibt es auch so einen Alpha-Werwolf oder so, der auch die Leute in Werwölfe verwandelt, oder hängt das auch mit dem Vampyr zusammen? Ich weiß es nicht. Wenn ich eins aus Underworld gelernt habe, aus dem Film, dann ist es, dass Werwölfe Vampire töten können. Und dass Werwölfe die natürlichen Feinde von Vampiren sind. Ich meine, ich weiß ja nicht, ob das wirklich so ist, oder... Oder, ja. Was heißt hier wirklich? Bin ich auch ein bisschen suspekt immer. Jedes Mal, wenn ich so eine Ladescreen gehe, verschwindet die Musik für 1, 2 Sekunden. Ich denke da immer, das Spiel hat sich aufgehängt oder so. Aber ja. Dann würde ich sagen, gehe ich jetzt zur Apotheke. Wo ist der Kopf hin? Da. Wo sehe ich den nicht? Ist das der Punkt? Kann ich hier überhaupt lang gehen? Ja. Ja. Auch wieder Blut. Oh, das ist vom Priester. Eieiei. Ja, ja.
I have this thirst for blood.
Soll ich schon hier lang gehen? Ja.
Get your weapons ready! We found one! Filthy piece of shit!
No civilians allowed, sir. Where's the police, boys?
Der gerade gesagt, fuck him fast. Oder was? So, ich glaube, hier ist irgendwie die Apotheke. Ist das die Apotheke? Nee. Hey Griffin! Yo! Ach, diese verdammte Schatten. Gar nicht so einfach, immer Leute zu töten. Zutaten und Substanzen, okay.
Opium is one of the main
Ja,
ingredients
schaut's
of
mal.
Strickland's medication. Never a good move.
Okay. Bevor ich aber den beiden jetzt erzähle, was passiert ist, gehe ich vorher weiter. Hier komme ich ja zu den Docks wieder runter, ja. Frank, wie geht es dir, mein alter Freund? Es war schön, dich letzte Woche zu sehen. Lass mich beim nächsten Mal auch ein paar Runden ausgeben. Ich hoffe, auf eurer Seite der Stadt ist alles in Ordnung. Naja. Hier in eurer alten Nachbarschaft wird die Lage schlimmer. Clay wird jeden Tag gewalttätiger und denkt nur an Expansion. Obwohl es ein paar neue Typen gibt, die uns die Kontrolle über das Gebiet streitig machen wollen. Ich fürchte, die Boat Boys stecken in der Klemme. Als die Gang, glaube ich, oder? Ich habe daran gedacht, wie du bei unserem letzten Treffen meintest, du hättest nie bereut, die Gang zu verlassen. Du würdest nur bereuen, dass du nicht mehr ins East End kommen kannst, um Prügel und Schlimmeren zu entgehen. Glaub mir, ich würde auf dich aufpassen, wenn du vorbeikämst. Vielleicht können wir uns nochmal über die Arbeitssuche unterhalten. Du weißt, dass ich immer schon gut rechnen konnte, also wenn du vielleicht einen Buchhalter für deinen Betrieb brauchst, lass uns darüber reden, in Ordnung? Grüße deine Frau von mir. Red Bad Boys für immer, alter Kumpel. Booth Digby. Wer ist Booth Digby? Ein Unbekannter, okay. Ich habe ja hier in der Docks noch keine Leute, oder fast keine Leute, nur die 3 in der Bar letztens. Ich weiß ja nicht mal, wo ich die finden kann überhaupt. Hier ist einer.
Good evening, sir.
Who the fuck are you? Don't you see I'm busy here?
Dr. Jonathan Reed, that's who I am. And who are you?
Ah, some fancy gentleman we've got here. Clear off. We don't want strangers on our streets.
So you won't tell me your name, then?
The name is Booth Digby.
Okay.
Maybe I'll ask my boys to break 1 or 2 of your bones, just so you remember it.
I know you're looking for an honest job, Booth. You're tired of this criminal life, aren't you?
It's just an idea. Edwina loves to run things so much. You can never really leave the gang. Wet boys for life, you know.
Die feuchten Jungs für immer.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
Things ain't that bad, thanks to us. We give people what they need, and we control this borough.
Well, you're not doing a very good job. People are still dying here like everywhere else.
Yeah, well, we can't be everywhere all the time. And Edwina says if we can find more guns, we could be more efficient.
More efficient? Really? You should probably tell Edwina that guns are useless against diseases and infections.
Incredible. You know what? You're lucky she can't hear you right now. She's more smart than patient. My sweet queen of the docks.
Und er gibt viel Erfahrung.
Are you some kind of vigilante patrolling these streets at night?
Something like that, but the police aren't in charge here. We are, see?
Okay.
So, tell me about...
What? Have you got a death wish? You really want me to answer that?
Well, yes. You seem so proud of your status. Why not tell me who you're working for?
Oi! I'm the boss, all right? The Wet Boot Boys work for me. All of them. Situation round here is better than other districts because of us. Because of me.
Das glaubst du auch
So
nicht.
you're a concerned criminal, is that it?
Using funny jokes about me and my boys, are you? Fuck. You must have some balls.
I saw many men like you during the war, Mr. Digby. Greedy little cockroaches who feed on despair.
I could kill you for saying that. But, nah. You've been a soldier. I can respect that.
Do you know where I can find Sean Hampton? I need to talk to him.
The sad saint. Why on earth do you want to talk to him?
He was one of my patients at the Pembroke Hospital.
Oh, yeah. I heard the poor bastard had been abducted by some cunt. You better ask Tom Watts. He knows Sean Hampton well.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Das ist Edwina Cox. Seine Königin.
For now,
Komm mal her.
Good evening,
Quatsch
miss.
mit mir.
I am Dr. Reed. May I ask you a few questions?
Who are you? What do you want?
As I just told you, I'm a doctor. From the Pembroke Hospital, actually.
The Pembroke Hospital, you say? I don't have any money for you leeches.
I'm not here for charity, Miss...
Miss Edwina Cox. So what do you want then? Fancy buying something from me, maybe?
Oh, okay. Das ist eine Händlerin.
Booth Digby looks at you with love-struck eyes. Tell me, Edwina, is the feeling mutual?
You have no idea how refreshing it can be for a woman to receive all the pleasure she needs. For once.
I'll take your word for it.
What is it, Doctor? A woman's not supposed to talk about these things.
Behind all your crude words and your attitude, I sense romance and a soft heart, Miss Cox.
Romance? I have no time for such rubbish. I use Booth like I use everyone else.
Was? Nein, komm schon. Ach, ich dachte mir schon, dass ich nichts machen soll.
You still use your husband's name, Edwin.
Why shouldn't I? He may be a bloody bastard, but I'm still his wife and his name means something round here.
Are you aware of what happened to him?
Yes. I'm sure he fought till the end and looked death in the eyes. The boys will mourn him. Except one of them, maybe.
Okay.
What can you tell me about...
I'm a businesswoman. I buy and sell things, and I send my wet boot boys after anyone who don't play nice with me.
Gang member and shopkeeper. Can't be easy running double shifts.
If you're interested, I may find use of a doctor who can freely walk across the city, you know.
You're quite blunt, aren't you?
I like people who know what they want and say what they think. This is a time of great opportunity for those ready to embrace their destiny.
I'm not interested in a career in the criminal underworld, Miss Cox.
Fair enough. Stay away from us then, if you don't want to get hurt or worse.
Since my return from the war, I don't feel that concerned by threats, knives, or even bullets, if you must know.
That's exactly what that stupid trade unionist claimed after he attacked one of us. Booth and I reminded him a bullet beats words every time.
Okay, noch ein Hinweis über Booth.
What can you tell me?
You can't trust anyone around here. As soon as you lower your guard, you can be sure some arsehole will take advantage of you.
You sound like you're thinking of somebody in particular.
Take the gravediggers of Southwark. They must pay me every week, but it looks like they forgot who gave them permission to steal from the dead.
Looting corpses in a mass grave. That is a new low.
Whatever. Hey, since you're a doctor and all, maybe you can access that forbidden area and remind those bastards what they owe.
Really? Don't you think that's a little bit excessive?
Bastards, all of them. This region only responds to violence and threats.
Okay.
Tell me about the man you and Booth killed, Edwina.
The bastard killed one of us and received retribution. There's nothing else to say.
And your conscience is clear. You kill without hesitation.
Violence is an efficient tool, Dr. Reed, when used properly.
So you decide who lives and who dies, just like that.
Yes, Doctor. Just like that. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm saying it's my way of dealing with troublemakers.
What happened exactly?
I don't know, and I don't care. One of ours was killed by that communist bastard, but he didn't brag for long.
So you have no idea what really happened, but you executed him anyway.
No one messes with the wet boot boys, Doctor. This is our territory, and this is our law.
Okay.
I'm looking for Mr. Sean Hampton.
The sad saint? I heard he was mugged or something.
Yes, he was. But he left hospital recently.
You don't say. Well, I suppose it's good news for the homeless and the useless. Ask them, they must know something.
Okay.
Can I see what you have to sell?
As long as you have money.
Ja, ja. Okay. Ich habe auch noch Informationen über ihn erhalten. Warte mal. Quatsch noch mal schnell mit ihm.
You.
Tell me about the man you killed, Booth. What happened?
One of us had been killed, so we had to retaliate. That's the whole story.
There has to be more to it than that.
No, really, one of us got killed, so the killer had to die. That's how things have always been done round here. No one gives a shit.
I think you're wrong. Maybe the docks have always been violent, but you can't say the living don't suffer because of it.
And then what? Let the commies and the anarchists rule? Nah. We're the wet boot boys. Our fathers died on these docks and they belong to us.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Mark my words, miss.
Not a drop of blood left in his body. This is the work of a vampire.
I'm a tracker of these creatures. A vampire hunter.
You best be off to your hunting then. For if the sewer dog is back and hunting all these poor folk, he needs a catching.
A sewer dog? What's it look like?
It's an old story. A monster with daggers for teeth and icy claws. He comes of
Good
a
evening,
sudden
sir.
night.
Whatever.
Don't you reckon?
Don't take it, Pep.
Yes.
I'm Dyson Delaney. I'll try.
Murders by night.
Inebriation.
Yes.
Take this.
Hey.
He's the kind of prey
Surely you must have had dreams.
Sure. I wanted things to change. To really change. And to change for good. The bigger the dream, the harder the fall.
Do you really
Ja,
think
hat er
the
schon
world is
recht.
that bad?
No, I believe we all can choose to make it better. But most of us are too weak, too corrupt and too guilty. I failed for sure, but others will come.
Sounds like you were an idealist, which is honorable.
No, sir. I was an anarchist and I believe that exclusive property is a robbery in nature. I wanted a new world to rise from the ashes, Dr. Reed.
Okay.
I want to know more about your past as an anarchist, Dyson.
I'm still an anarchist, Doctor, make no mistake. I just reject violence as a tool to change the world, unlike my comrades.
Do you believe in a bloodless revolution, then?
I do not believe in much anymore, Doctor. But I'll admit I like your idea of peaceful change. I like it a lot.
Do you still see your comrades, then? Even if you don't agree with their methods anymore, I mean.
No. I hope they'll come to share my point of view one day. I'll raise my glass to that splendid idea.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Delaney?
I drink. I drink in the morning and at noon. I drink at night. And then I drink some more.
Why do you drink so much?
Maybe it's because I prefer dying slowly. Death can be so abrupt. Personally, I like to see mine coming at my own pace.
You sound very sad.
That's because I am Doc.
Don't you work at all?
I'd love to, but I don't have the time. Didn't I tell you? Drink in the morning and at noon. I drink at night.
Is there anything in particular that you like about this part of town? Except for the cheap drinks, I mean.
How dare you say such a thing? I love this neighborhood. So friendly. So joyful.
Why are you so cynical?
Cynicism is the polite way to express despair, Doctor.
No reason at all to rejoice, then? Life is hopeless and then we die, is that it?
Let me tell you a story.
All right. Go on.
A few years ago, when I believed a resolute man could change things around here for good, A tragedy occurred nearby.
What kind of tragedy?
It was a bomb. Bomb that exploded and killed many people. Metal and blood everywhere. Shouts, fire, broken window of the shoe shop, the torn street light.
You lost people you loved that day, didn't you?
I've lost everything. But you know what the worst part is? I don't even remember where it happened. I've drunk so much to forget it, and now I can't remember where it was. I can't pay my homage to the dead.
I'm sorry, Mr. Delaney.
It's okay. If you ever find the place, just leave a flower for me there. Even if you tell me where it is, I'm not sure I'd memorize it.
Is there
How dare...
no reason at all to rejoice, then? Life is hopeless and then we die, is that it?
Let me tell you a story.
Another... I'm looking for...
I really don't know. I heard he'd been abducted.
Who could tell me then?
About the sad saint. I'll try asking Tom.
Goodbye, Mr. Delaney.
Tom Witz. Da ist er.
Are they stupid or something?
Good evening, Tom.
Good evening.
You remember...
Of course I did.
Thank you for your hospitality.
I'm still Tom Watts. Welcome back, Doctor.
How is it you can keep this place open?
Well, since everybody needs a drink, my...
Ich glaube, das habe ich schon gefragt.
I see.
Nee.
So you get pressure from all sides about how this place should be run, do you?
Well, something like that. Nothing that a few wise words and a bottle of gin can't solve.
You're something of a
habe ich schon
figurehead
gelesen.
around here.
I'm only pouring alcohol for everyone to forget their troubles. Sean Hampton is the one giving them long-term hope.
Since I'm here, is there anything I can do?
Well, perhaps, Doctor. Peace partly depends on my stock of gin. With the epidemic, my supplies are running low.
How could a physician help you in this matter?
I have a small warehouse just past the quarantine line. Perhaps, with you being a doctor, you could go there and come back?
Doctors aren't immune to
Natürlich.
disease, you know. Very well. Show me where it is. I'll see what I can do.
Oh, thank you, sir. Here's the key to get in. You're about to save many dry throats.
What can you tell me?
It's not that bad. Thanks to people like the sad saint of the East End.
Who?
Sean Hampton, our own private holy figure. Few are foolish enough to make peace with the gangs. Sean is one of them.
Okay.
Tom, I need to find Sean Hampton as quickly as possible. I've been told you could help me.
I heard the sad saint was recovering at Pembroke Hospital. Did he leave or something?
I believe he returned to his flock. Can you confirm that?
Oh, I bet you're right. Sean can't help but worry about the poor and sick. Oh, I guess it has something to do with what happened to him as a baby.
Please, tell me.
Well, I don't like to gossip, but I heard that the sad saint was abandoned as a baby in front of a Catholic orphanage in Dublin. That would explain his faith and need to help everyone.
The important thing is I find him. Quickly.
Why not try his night asylum? He takes care of those who need a meal or a roof there.
Where is it?
It's in an old warehouse, northwest of here. Just follow the bank to the west and go north when you reach the end of the pier.
Okay.
Goodbye, Mr. Watts.
Shut the turquoise for a time.
Evening.
Well,
I'm much...
welcome back to...
Excuse my curiosity, but...
Something bothering you? What, my name? Or my complexion?
Believe me, I never judge someone on their place of birth or the color of their skin.
If that's true, you'd be one of the few not to make fun of me. Just you, Tom, Dyson, Miss Fishburne, And of course, Mr. Hampton.
I'm sorry if I worried you. I was just curious to find out if you know this part of town well.
Nosy. My dad was a sailor from Bombay, and my mum was a maid born up in Glasgow. They got married in London. And here I am.
Okay.
This place seems, how shall I put it, very colorful. I'm sure it has plenty of stories to tell.
We get people of all sorts here. It's that rare place in the docks where you can have a drink without being murdered. At least it's not happened yet.
Your boss must be quite the negotiator to force such an agreement.
Yeah. Tom's a great bloke. Mr. Hampton, who runs the night asylum, he's the only other man that's able to keep peace around here.
So this bar is neutral territory then?
Yeah. Tom's convinced this is something the locals need. No one ever draws a weapon here. That's one of the reasons I accepted the job.
Okay.
What can you tell me about this?
People don't appreciate that line of questioning round here. You best be more careful with what you say, sir.
You look concerned, Miss Cavendish.
This is a bad borough. Most people I know are afraid. Most locals will rob you blind, or worse. You best mind your step.
I have nothing to fear from the people round here, miss.
Yeah, I'm a brave woman myself, Dr. Reed, but I'd be a fool to think I'm invincible.
Okay.
Goodbye, Miss Camp.
Also ich habe hier ein paar Quests angenommen.
I live long enough to see them wet boot boys get what's coming to them. Are they stupid or something? I've never even been to India.
Good evening, sir. Have you witnessed any suspicious activity or strange events recently?
And what do you define as a strange event? More to the point, who are you?
My name is Ichabod Throgmorton.
Oh my God, das ist
Vampire
mein Name.
hunter extraordinaire and warden of the East End.
A vampire hunter?
Really? I know what you're thinking. I'm just another lunatic howling at the moon, but I'm not. The bloodsuckers exist, and they're close.
Mr. Throgmorton, I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'd like to hear more about these vampires you're hunting.
A man of science? Well, I'll be glad to enlighten you.
Have you heard of the Guard of Priwen?
Of course. They're dedicated hunters. A little militant for my taste, but they do let anyone join.
So you hunt alone? That sounds risky.
Vampires are just like every other predator. They hunt when they're hungry and follow certain patterns. It's just a matter of observation and patience.
Were you ever tempted to join the Guard yourself?
I did think about it, but I'm more of a silent hunter. They're more of a sanitary militia.
Okay.
So,
I patrol late at night, investigating it.
how do you identify?
It's simple, really. They can't stand daylight.
Okay.
They're afraid of garlic and holy symbols. They also cannot enter a house without being invited.
Have you ever killed one of these creatures? Yourself, I mean.
Of course I have. What kind of question is that? It's a dirty business, believe me.
Can I help in any way?
Actually, yes. I plan to put up posters to alert the population to the vampire threat.
Are you asking me to paste posters about vampires around the docks?
If you wouldn't mind. If you did that, then I can focus on my patrols.
Okay.
What can you tell me about this neighborhood?
Did you hear about what happened to Jack Gillingham? Oh boy. It's a shame I wasn't around to protect him.
It's impossible to protect everyone. The violence seems endemic in this part of town.
But it's my duty. I am convinced Jack Gillingham was killed by a vampire. These evil rodents are spreading like a plague.
Jabon. Der Name.
Goodbye.
Richtig übel. Wer nennt sein Kind so bitte? Was haben die hier für alte Lady? Straft fürs Leben mit so einem Namen. Jabon.
Good evening, madam. I'm Dr. Reed. Could I come in?
Why? What do you want?
I work at the Pembroke Hospital. I'm investigating the flu epidemic in this area.
Oh, the Spanish flu. Well, that's quite liberal of you, Doctor. But this is no time to be knocking at people's doors.
The disease takes away the good people too, madam. Why not let me in?
It's Mrs. Fishburne. Stella Fishburne. And yes, indeed. Why not let a doctor in?
So einfach geht's. So, jetzt nehme ich von der alten Lady erstmal alles mit, was geht. Alles mitnehmen. Aber die hat's gemütlich hier. Muss ich schon sagen. Das Feuerlein am Kamin.
It's locked.
Okay.
It's locked.
Ja, kann ich trotzdem mit dir reden? Okay.
So you have questions?
Yes.
Forgive my rudeness at the door. It's just my son doesn't like strangers coming in the house.
Okay, ich könnte dich sogar schon mitnehmen. Aber...
How is life around here?
Life has always been hard in the East End. But it's everywhere nowadays, isn't it?
Do you think the increase in violence has anything to do with the epidemic?
Don't know. But it's most likely linked to the gangs, if you ask me. Recently, it's like everyone has had to pick a side.
Violence has always fed on poverty, don't you think? It's a cruel law of the human condition.
And selfishness is their rotten fruit. These days, you can just die in the gutter and no one will bat an eye.
May I ask what you do for a living, Mrs. Fishburne?
Since my husband died, I worked at the Dawson Rope Factory, but it closed before the war. I occasionally help at the night asylum, in exchange for food.
How do you pay the rent, then?
My Seymour works at the docks, just like his dad. He's very attached to the house he grew up in. It's not always easy, but we get by all right.
Did your husband die in the war?
Oh no, my Jack was a docker. He died when my Seymour was just a lad. The poor boy saw his dad slip and fall from that scaffolding.
Das ist übel. Okay, mehr kann ich eh nicht fragen.
Goodbye, Miss Fit.
Jetzt gucke ich mir mal an, was mit den Leuten hier aussieht. Okay, hier ist ja 3. Die beiden gehören auch zusammen. Hier wäre ein Einzelner. Cowboy ist auch Einzelner. Der ist Tom Watts. Er ist der Barbesitzer, aber wer ist dann er? Sean.
Let's grow eyes in the back of that head, sir.
Hello, boy.
Hello. Good evening.
Did I scare you? You have nothing to fear from me.
No, it's just that people prefer to avoid me.
Well, I won't. I'm a doctor.
My name is Rufus, sir. Rufus Kingsbury.
Do you need help?
A real doctor caring about me. That's
a real...
I don't know what to say.
Are you alone?
I don't have any.
So you have no home? You're sleeping rough?
No. I mean, yes. I live on the streets. I have no home.
This city has abandoned so many of its children. It's tragic.
Well, I've known worse. I'm not all alone. I have Mrs. Fishburne. She's been very kind to me.
Why do you think she's so considerate?
I can't say, sir. I guess she's a good soul. Sometimes it's like she replaces the mother I lost, even if we're not related.
Cool.
What do you do?
I listen to the news on the docks, sir.
What do people say?
Things have been tense between the wet boot boys and the communists. They both feel they should run.
Okay.
Do you have a job?
It's hard to work. What with my head and all.
What can you tell me about this?
It's all about staying out of trouble. But since most people prefer to avoid me, it's pretty easy.
Have you ever thought about...
Where else would I go? At least I know these streets and some people around here. This is my city, for better or worse.
Why do people avoid you?
They call me Rufus the Curse. Around here, I'm a bit of a bad luck charm.
Ach komm. Unglücksbringer. Armer.
So long, Rufus.
So, mit dem quatsch ich jetzt auch noch.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I was just...
Don't like questions.
Do you require... I don't...
Okay, persönliche Fragen kann ich nicht machen.
What's your...
I take care of my mum. That's what I do. She's the only good thing in my life. Even though I don't treat her so good. I just want her to smile. Know I was thankful for her patience, appreciated like... God knows she deserves it.
You seem upset. Is something bothering you?
I lost the necklace I bought her. I'm a fucking idiot. A worthless idiot.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
A shithole filled with maggots. Liars and thieves, all of them.
Is there no one who deserves your leniency, then?
Well, Tom from our local is somewhat of a decent bloke. At least, unlike most maggots, he knows how to listen without opening his trap.
Are you thinking about...
Nope. Hate them all. Especially these petty, whining little shitbag beggars.
Nein,
Any chance...
The sad...
Actually...
Really?
Goodbye, Mr. Fish.
So, diese Leute erholen sich schon mal, das ist gut.
Away a bit down.
This is despicable.
Ach, nicht so schlimm, ist nur eine Ratte.
It's locked.
Okay. Bin ja von da gekommen. Ja, aber Leute, ich muss im Moment leider gut sein lassen. Mein Onkel heute Geburtstag hat. Und der ist gerade gekommen, glaube ich. gesagt, er kommt um 1. Und ich gehe jetzt kurze Zeit runter. Ich habe ja heute auch wieder Therapie. Um 6 Uhr. Aber es geht auf jeden Fall in 1-2 Stunden wieder weiter, würde ich sagen. Und erkunden die Docks noch etwas genauer. Und wir werden auch diese Nebenquests hier machen. Damit sich der Bezirk wirklich gut erholt. Die Docks, wir sind jetzt auf einem stabilen Bereich. Also sobald ich schlafen gehe, wird es normalerweise besser. Hier, die sind auch alle am Erholen. Ich hoffe, der Bezirk geht auch nach oben. Und ich hoffe, dass der Bezirk nicht wieder nach unten geht. Ich habe nämlich ziemlich viele Leute geheilt, muss ich sagen. Die beiden fehlen mir noch. Der Bezirk ist noch unbekannt, aber da geht es sich auch noch bald hin. Und ich werde auch versuchen, Witch Appeal die Leute auch bald mal auszusaugen. Das Problem ist nur, wenn ich Leute hole, ich muss zuerst die beiden holen. Definitiv. Aber ich bräuchte noch mehr Informationen über die beiden. Und sie könnte ich holen. Aber ich habe nur Bandstufe 2, ich brauche Bandstufe 3. Mindestens. Ich frage mich, ob das besser wird, sobald ich ein höheres Level erreiche. Das muss ich mir mal anschauen. Sobald ich wieder bin. Aber gut, dann würde ich sagen, lassen wir es an der Stelle und wir sehen uns bald wieder. Macht's gut, meine Freunde. Lasst ein Like da, wenn euch das Video gefallen hat. Auch wenn ich jetzt nicht viel erreicht habe und nicht viel gemacht habe, dann großteils nur geredet mit den Leuten. Aber es geht bald wieder weiter. Tschüss. Mein Name ist RustyKay und ja, lasst ein Like da. Über ein Abo würde ich mich natürlich noch mehr freuen. Und dann sehen wir uns später wieder.